Again, Templar Archives are done, and second expansion is now done for SangHo again, and the third one is going down for him. A couple DTs on their way over to do some harassment, but we saw a turret going down in the front of DarkElf's base, which you see right there, at a pretty good wall, so those Dark Templars are not going to be able to do much damage through the front. They may be able to do damage if a shuttle pops out, but he's going Stargate instead of shuttle, so you can expect probably Arbiters versus a shuttle. And the reason I say Arbiters is you saw the Templar Archives. Basically, once you get a Stargate, all you need is one building at that point for to make Arbiters, the Arbiter Tribunal. So it's pretty easy to make that transition from DTs to Arbiters versus a straight build to Arbiters. So it looks like SangHo just content to do some macroing now, as he's got a little bit of catching up to do economically. The second expansion is up and running, but still a little bit behind compared to where DarkElf is. DarkElf heavy on tanks right now. Looks like he's getting an armory down. I don't know if he even has scan yet to see what SangHo is going. I suggest that he gets that though. There you see the Arbiter Tribunal going down now. And a robotics facility as well. I guess he's realizing that if he wants to get those DTs in, he's going to need a shuttle. And I think that's a smart move. He can drop him basically right into the protected expansion, or right into the corner of the base, and not much loss will be there. Another two factories going down. No scanner though for DarkElf, which I believe I would say is a bit of a mistake on his part. Considering SangHo's just sitting in his base, that's one of those things that you want to have. It's a free scout. Now an academy going down, so a little later scanner than I would expect, but I guess he should be okay with it. He's got a couple turrets in his protected expansion, so DTs can't just drop in there. They will have to go through the side of his base or find a hole in the defense of the a hole in the turret defense, basically. That barracks is pretty bad. That gateway is pretty bad positioning, that middle one they just clicked on, because if he tries to make goons out of that, it won't pop any out because it's completely blocked. The exit's completely blocked by other buildings. So he's got to only make Zealots and Dark Templars out of there if he's going to use that. Scanner finally going after DarkElf, and it looks like 4 factories down, 5, 6, and 7 are now going down. Double armory going down. So he's obviously going for upgrades. I don't see a starport yet. So he's got a little while before he needs to get that, though, because he's got to get first upgrades complete before that really is relevant. And there's another building warping in there above the Stargate. I'd love to know where that is. It looks like observers are going to be coming out for SangHo. Maybe not a shuttle after all. And a 4th expansion. So he's going to try to get ahead of Terran. Generally, if you're Protoss, you want to stay 1 expansion ahead. It looks like Mines and Vulture Speed are upgrading at those factories. It's the only thing that you would expect to happen for two machine shops spinning at the same time, because we knew that he already had Siege. So it has to be Mines and Vulture Speed. And the Observer is out now, so he's going to see if he can scout out DarkElf's base a bit. Depends how well his turret placement is. And that was a 2nd starport, so it looks like SangHo's going to go heavy on Arbiters. And Observers for that matter too, another one coming out. But his army is pretty low right now. He's definitely got to work on getting some more. Putting a turret up front is DarkElf. He's going to try to get a good spot. Starport going down. That may be for dropships, but that may also be just so he can get a science facility to get some upgrades, level 2 upgrades. Arbiter is out. Isn't that cool? I don't know if he's gone Stasi or if he's going to go Recall. Recall is a fantastic ability of the Arbiter, but Stasi is quite good as well, especially if you catch a good tank grouping up in Stasi. Usually that's a good push for Protoss to get through. And a little bit of a pylon block to can't speak right now. A little bit of a pylon block for SangHo. He's going to be trying to prevent vultures from getting in. He's got those observers, so he knows that there are vultures. He's going to have observers with his arbiters and his army as well, because spider mines work through cloaking. Yes, they do. They just sense anything that's running on the ground. So basically, he's going to really have to watch out. And you can see DarkElf being pretty intelligent here, putting mines all over his base. So if SangHo were to recall, his units would basically get blown up. So that's going to be a good decision on DarkElf's part. And I think the Vultures is a good decision. And Science Facility now going down. And I expect to see some Science Vessels, not just upgrades, because you see Arbiters, and I don't know if he's going to be using EMP or anything of the like, but Science Vessels by themselves with Defense Matrix are pretty nice. A 5th expansion going down for SangHo, and at this point I'd have to advise DarkElf to start going after these expansions. He's going to get out ecoed very shortly, and he really should have already taken advantage of that economic gain he had from taking out that Nexus. At this point, taking out that Nexus was pretty much nullified. So definitely a little lagging on that. A lot of spider mines going down, but again with those observers, it's not going to really affect the goons of SangHo too much. SangHo now has 3 Arbiters out on the field. That's interesting. I don't know what he's going to go. EMP would be a good idea for DarkElf to get. Another pylon block going down, and those Vultures clumsily running around, not able to go in there, and trying to throw down a last mine just to get it out. And it looks like DarkElf finally deciding to do a little bit of a push. I'm guessing he knows about the Arbiters by now, purely by the amount of spider mines that he had out on the field. And he's got some Goliaths there too, which is a good decision, because he's really got to take out those Arbiters if he's going to do any damage. Haven't seen any Science Vessels yet. Science Facility must just be completed or completing, one of the two. And those Arbiters, let's see if they if SangHo can make use of them. And those probes getting caught out in the open, going to lose a bunch of probes. And now scanning on the Arbiter field, so that Arbiter kind of not doing too much right now with those tanks banging hits on him. And DarkElf finally doing what he needs to do, pushing up on those expansions of... Stassi going down for 1 Arbiter, and a lot of Zealots out from the right. A little bit of a flank going on here. A ton of tanks. SangHo's got to run those in there, though. Otherwise, those Zealots are going to be pretty ineffective. Oh man, double Stassi on those tanks. And just what I was talking about earlier, that's what you want to do with Stassi. A really good tank grouping, pretty much nullified by Stassi. And what's going to happen is these tanks are going to be taken out by these goons, and he's just going to position them around the tanks for when they unstassi and take advantage of the fact that they are going to be way out of position compared to where his units are. He's got to keep that in mind, though, because that timer on Stassi's going to be running short very soon. So he wants to get in there, and one Stassi going down, and there you see him positioning himself around those tanks and make sure that he takes advantage of the fact that they are Stassi. And losing 1 Arbiter, losing another Arbiter, oh man, a bad micro by SangHo, and those tanks are well in position to take out all of those goons, and then some. So really, SangHo